Before I became a travel journalist, I started out as a flight attendant for a major US carrier, and I get questions about what it was like all the time. So today, I thought we'd answer some of your burning questions about the behind-the-scenes life as a flight attendant and taking to the skies on a daily basis.
I love when we get stopped and people are, they want to talk about the jet set, but they're always like, well, what about this? And I always like to ask you, like, what was the weirdest thing you've seen or what happened? So let's get into it. We asked our viewers to send in your questions for another installment of Cabin Crew Confessions. All right, let's jump right in. At 51, is it safe to drink airplane coffee? I heard they use the same water as the toilet. Is that true?
No, they don't use the same water as the toilet. They do refill a potable water tank on the plane to use to brew coffee and to make for tea and all that stuff. Yeah. It is not the same water that goes into the toilet system.
Really?
Are you surprised?
No. That's not what I'm saying, really. I'm saying because they don't, like, change. Something's not changed with the coffee. Like, something is not changed, like, regularly with coffee.
I mean, how often are the coffee pots cleaned and replaced? There's that situation. Yeah. I mean, the potable water tank, how often do they clean the tank? That's a good question. Yeah. I mean, aside from that, it's safe to drink.
Well, let's continue. Okay. At Mysterious Plate 218 asks, is there a difference among airlines in terms of safety and risk of fatal crash? I'm afraid of buying cheap tickets just because of this fear. Interesting question.
There absolutely is. There is no correlation there. Even though you're buying a ticket on a low-cost carrier, you're just as safe as you would be on any of the major airlines.
Because it's just really like the brand of the plane. The planes are the same.
Yeah, they're all made by either Boeing, Airbus, Mitsubishi, or Embraer at this point.
It's just what painted what
it's painted on, what airline's operating it. And all the flight attendants and pilots go through the same training that's always overseen by the FAA, so you have nothing to worry about.
Okay. At Unsettled Summer asks, I've developed a really awful fear of flying due to my panic attacks and have always wondered with something like that, which is mental health related, would it still be okay to call for a flight attendant and say, I'm having a panic attack? Should I just tell them straight up when I'm boarding the plane that I have terrible anxiety with flying? This is a good question.
Yes, definitely let them know when you're boarding that you have the anxiety, because there's, if you know you're going to encounter turbulence, then maybe you'd call out that person ahead of time and say, we know we're headed toward this area. Give them a little bit of reassurance before something happens that might cause a panic attack. But then if you're in that situation where you might actually experience a panic attack and the crew doesn't know, they might think it's something else.
Oh, this is a very good.
So if you have that situation or that fear, then definitely talk to the crew when you board.
I'm so happy that we're doing this. I'm learning so much. Okay, at Take It to Red Sis asks, is it better to ask for water, soda, etc. from a flight attendant in their kitchen area or to call them to your seat and ask? I like to take a walk to ask for a drink to give myself something to do on a longer flight, but my husband is convinced that this is rude and I should be using the call light for requests outside the normal food, beverage, service items. Oh, this is a topic.
I don't think it's rude at all if you walk to the back and ask for a drink, because 9 times out of 10 the flight attendants are back there relaxing in between beverage services because there's nothing else to do unless someone needs something. So if you're up for a walk, especially going to the back toward the bathroom, there's no problem with just asking them for a drink back there. But you can also ring the call button. That's what it's there for.
Interesting.
I just love that it's referred to as the kitchen.
Yeah,
there's really nothing being cooked back there. Even on unless you're on like the luxury suites on like Qatar or Emirates, everything's cooked on the ground and just reheated.
Okay. Well, at TKen84 asks, are long flights more dangerous than short flights? Also, is it true that emergency landings in the ocean are more dangerous than emergency landings on land?
Okay. Yeah. So long flights are not more dangerous than short flights. The most dangerous part of flying, if you will, would be the takeoff and landing. So at cruise altitude, everything's the same. Okay. So there's no big difference there. But are emergency landings in water more dangerous than land? Yeah. Yes. Generally speaking, yes.
That's crazy. Have you ever had one?
An emergency landing on water?
Yeah.
No. They're very rare.
Yeah.
And they're a lot more dangerous. So I mean, the biggest one that made news was US Airways 1549, where everyone survived. And our very first show of the Jet Set. Yeah, Captain Sully, but our very first show of the Jet Set, we had a passenger on the show who was on that airplane. I mean, it's rare that they happen, even more rare that everyone survives, which made that such a miraculous, situation overall.
Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't watch it. Maybe we're too scared. Okay, at Just Checking 78 asks, my fear is that I'll suffer a cardiac arrest in the air, be it out of luck, and just die on the plane. Any way to help ease that fear?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every airplane has an AED on board. So exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Without the hand gesture, you wouldn't have known what that is. And the flight attendants are all trained on how to use it as well.
That's so interesting. I love doing these because I also learned